Very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. You're joining me, David Paldano. Now, before we head into your stories in more detail, let's first take a look at your headlines this afternoon.
Businesses of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC suspended. Strict action to be taken against drunk drivers during the festive season. State Minister Dilum Mamunugama's revelation about bus drivers in the Western Province. An Assistant Superintendent of Sri Lanka Customs arrested by the CID. COVID-19 is long way from over, says the World Health Organization, as cases and deaths surge.
This pandemic is a long way from over, but we have many reasons for optimism.
Now, taking a look at one of the headline-making stories, the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has decided to suspend business of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC with effect from 5 p.m. last evening.
The central bank earlier suspended business activities of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC and its parent company ETI Finance Limited for a period of 6 months, from the 13th of July 2020 until the 12th of January 2021, after considering the entity's continuously deteriorating financial condition. According to the central bank, during the suspended period, the company failed to bring in an acceptable revival plan through a capital infusion, while the financial position of Swarna Mahal Financial Services continued to deteriorate further. During this second suspension period, that is in effect from 5 p.m. on the 12th of April, a panel of management will manage the affairs of Swarna Mahal Financial Services, and the compensation from the Sri Lanka Deposit Insurance and Liquidity Support Scheme to the remaining depositors of Swarna Mahal Financial Services will be paid through the island-wide branch network of People's Bank. The date of commencement of such compensation payment will be notified to the depositors of Swarna Mahal Financial Services in the near future. Further regulatory actions that will be taken on Swarna Mahal Financial Services will be notified in due course. All debtors of Swarna Mahal Financial Services are advised to pay their dues to the entity on time and maintain records for all payments to avoid any possible litigations against them for non-payment of dues. Debtors of Swarna Mahal Financial Services have been advised to repay their dues only to the bank accounts at Sampath Bank Headquarters Branch and Commercial Bank Kolpiti Branch.
State Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government Roshan Ranasinghe expressed the following views on the procedure in which the Provincial Council polls are going to be held in Polonnaruwa yesterday.
We hope to carry out this election under the 70-30 proportional representation system. We hope to allocate 3 candidates each for 1 electorate. The main reason for not allocating 1 person to an electorate is that if that person is having a bad reputation, people will abstain from casting their vote. Any political party should not be impacted because one individual is having a bad reputation among the general public. The people want an MP who is responsible for their respective electorate. They will get someone like that in the future. We will grant a democratic right to the people by allocating 3 people to 1 electorate.
අපි යෝජනා කරලා තියෙනවා කොට්ටාශයකට 3 දෙනෙක් දාලා ජනතාවට කැමති පුද්ගලයා තෝරගන්න.
Farmers of Valsapagala decided to continue their satyagraha this morning as well, owing to the uncertainty clouding over the gazette which was published to establish the Wild Elephant Management Reserve yesterday.
A number of farmers' organizations across the country are carrying out a satyagraha for 87 days, demanding the authorities to gazette the Hambantota Wild Elephant Management Reserve. The gazette to establish the Wild Elephant Management Reserve was published yesterday. However, the farmers allege that a multitude of issues have arisen regarding the gazette. Due to this, the farmers decided to come back to the satyagraha site during the Sinhala and Tamil New Year as well.
We are not accepting this gazette. The gazette has been issued without discussing the needs and wants of the farmers who took to the streets. New rules and regulations have been introduced from this gazette that will make it easier for smugglers to carry out their affairs. We have to know exactly where the boundaries are before we let animals enter this reserve. We have to know whether it is suitable for the animals. We will not accept this gazette, which has been published by the authorities in an AC room, merely looking at Google Maps.
Sri Lankans are eagerly preparing for the dawn of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Traditionally, today is declared the final day of the old year.
The Nonakataya is observed from 9 minutes past 8 p.m. tonight to 57 minutes past 8 a.m. tomorrow, during which it is advised to engage in religious observances. The Sinhala and Tamil New Year dawns at 2:33 a.m. tomorrow. The Nakatsi tour cites that milk rice and a sweetmeat containing green gram should be prepared while dressed in light green and facing east at 6:17 a.m. tomorrow. The auspicious time for transactions and having the first meal falls at 7:41 a.m. on the same day, clad in light green and facing east. The auspicious time to plant trees falls at 6:40 a.m. on Friday, the 16th of April. And the auspicious time for anointing of oil is at 7:16 a.m. on Saturday, the 17th of April.
Media Police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana stated that the law will be strictly enforced on those who drive under the influence of alcohol.
A special operation will be conducted the whole day tomorrow. We will carry out operations on vehicles that are speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol, reckless and careless driving. We hope to carry out this operation until after the new year. You can be subjected to a breathalyzer test. If it is revealed that you are under the influence of alcohol while driving, bail will not be provided by the police. They will be produced to the courts and the vehicle will be seized by police.
යම් පුද්ගලයෙක් ඒවා පානය කර ලබාගෙන ඇති බවට අනාවරණය වුවොත් ඔවුන්ට පොලිසිය මගින් අප ලබා දීමක් සිදු කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔවුන් අධිකරණයට ඉදිරිපත් කරනු ලබනවා. ඒ වගේම මෙම වාහන පොලිසිය භාරයට ගැනීමට කටයුතු කරනවා.
State Minister of Vehicle Regulation and Bus Transport Services Dilung Amunugama revealed of a new program that is to be launched for bus drivers at a media briefing held in Kandy yesterday.
80% of drivers of private buses that operate in Colombo are under the influence of narcotic substances while being on duty. This is a serious issue. Steps have been taken for the introduction of a new drug test. We are ready to take this to the cabinet. We are hoping to carry out a drug test when an individual is subjected to the medical test when he applies for the driver's license. This only applies when you apply to obtain the driver's license for heavy vehicles. Thereby, we will be able to find out whether they have used any narcotic substances 1 month prior to the date of the test. We will use very simple equipment for the test. If a person has not used any narcotic substance for a month, he is not an addict. An addict cannot refrain from using drugs even for a week.
Asela Sampath, the president of the Sri Lanka's Canteen Owners Association, has been arrested by police. Now, according to police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana, the arrest has been made over an arrest warrant which was issued against him. Now, moving on to more local news, the Ministry of Justice says the Department of Government Analysis have completed 8,000 reports on narcotic substances.
According to the Ministry of Justice, the 8,000 reports were those pending as of 31st March this year and had been piled up at the Department of Government Analyst for 9 months. The Ministry of Justice says completing these reports will expedite the proceedings of pending court cases and reduce the number of inmates at remand prisons from 33,000 to 23,000. The Ministry of Justice added, at present, the Department of Government Analyst releases approximately 1,500 reports on a daily basis.
Now we can get more headline-making stories. An assistant superintendent of Sri Lanka Customs has been arrested by the Criminal Investigations Department. The suspect has been arrested over the re-export of dried erica nut worth over 300 million rupees from Indonesia. Police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said that the suspect had entered fraudulent data into the system in order to export the dried erica nut to India. Now, keeping up with more local news, the driver of a vehicle that violated traffic rules on the expressway has been arrested.
On the 10th of this month, a vehicle violating traffic rules on the expressway went viral on social media, drawing much criticism. The driver, who was arrested yesterday, has been remanded until the 22nd of this month. Police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said 4 passengers of the car have also been arrested this morning. The arrested suspects were identified as residents of Akurana.
The registered owner of the vehicle came to the traffic division and his statement was recorded. According to his statement, the car has been sold to another person, but the transaction has not been performed according to the law. So therefore, the registered owner would be charged by the Expressway Police Division in due course. In addition to that, the second owner did not come yesterday and his statement would be recorded in due course. Further investigations are underway.
A person died after being run over by a private bus in Hatton yesterday.
The accident took place at 2:30 p.m. yesterday in the Hatton town. The private bus which was speeding had hit two people. The person who succumbed to his injuries was a 32-year-old man who was a resident of Norwood. The other person who was injured was a woman who is currently receiving treatment at the Dikkoe Base Hospital. Furthermore, a hospital spokesperson said that the patient is in a critical condition. The driver of the bus has been arrested by the Hatton police. Meanwhile, a bus and a car collided into each other along the Hatton-Colombo road. The accident took place at 10 last night. No injuries were reported from the accident. Police stated that the accident was due to careless driving. The car was severely damaged as a result of the accident. Further investigations are being carried out by the Hatton police. Another accident took place yesterday in the Morogoda Shravasipura area along the Anuradhapura Padeniya road. The accident had occurred after the driver was unable to control the speed of the vehicle, and as a result of that, the vehicle veered off the road. Our correspondent stated that the driver had sustained minor injuries.
Now on to a COVID-19 update. The total number of COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka has increased to 95,394 with the discovery of 225 new cases yesterday. Now 3,021 patients are currently receiving treatment under medical supervision for the virus. According to the Ministry of Health, 598 individuals have succumbed to the virus so far. On a more positive note, 91,775 patients have recovered from the virus and have been discharged from hospital. Now, the World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom said that confusion and complacency in addressing COVID-19 means that the pandemic is long from over, but it can be brought under control in months with proven public health measures.
So many countries around the world have shown that this virus can be stopped and contained with proven public health measures and strong systems that respond rapidly and consistently. As a result, many of those countries have gained control over COVID-19. WHO does not want endless lockdowns. The countries that have done best have taken a tailored, measured, agile, and evidence-based combination of measures. We too want to see societies and economies reopening and travel and trade resuming. But right now, intensive care units in many countries are overflowing and people are dying. And it is totally avoidable. This pandemic is a long way from over, but we have many reasons for optimism. The decline in cases and deaths during the first 2 months of the year shows that this virus and its variants can be stopped. With a concerted effort to apply public health measures alongside equitable vaccination, we could bring this pandemic under control in a matter of months.
Meanwhile, the WHO team leader on COVID-19 told the news briefing the pandemic was growing exponentially, with a 9% increase in cases last week, the 7th consecutive week of increases, and a 5% rise in deaths.
And with that, we wrap up lunchtime news here on TV1. For more news, log on to our award-winning website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm David Paldano. Take care.